In the waning years of the 24th century, humanity found itself not in the glistening corridors of sprawling space stations or in the grandiose cities of distant worlds as many had dreamed, but on the precipice of an existential crisis. Earth was ravaged, worn by centuries of exploitation and conflict. It was during these dark times that the United Earth Government, a conglomerate of former nations united under the dire necessity of survival, turned its gaze to the stars, not in hope, but in desperation. The project was named Aurora, a beacon of last-ditch efforts to find a new home for humanity. The Aurora fleet comprised 7 massive colony ships, each named after the ancient wonders of the world, designed to traverse the void beyond the known galaxy. Their target was a distant exoplanet, Proxima Centauri b, a world that promised a new beginning. Dr. Aurora Miles, the chief scientist aboard the Hanging Gardens, had never seen Earth's oceans or its forests in person, only in the digital archives. Her world was one of metal and artificial atmospheres. She was a child of space, born on the moon colony of Tycho, and her life's work was dedicated to astrobiology and terraforming technologies. As the fleet embarked on their monumental journey, their voyage was anything but peaceful. The void of space was relentless and unforgiving. Cosmic storms, asteroid fields, and the constant threat of unknown cosmic phenomena tested the resilience of the fleet. The ships, although built with the best technology Earth could muster, were not impervious to the universe's indifferent might. On the 57th day of their voyage, a massive solar flare from a nearby star system caught the fleet off guard. The electromagnetic pulse was catastrophic, wreaking havoc on the ship's navigation systems and life support. Panic was immediate and widespread among the 30,000 souls aboard each ship. In the chaos, Dr. Miles found herself thrust into a role she had never prepared for: leadership. "The systems need to be rebooted manually," Aurora said, her voice steady over the ship's intercom. "I need a team at the main control deck, and teams checking on life support systems in sectors 4 through 10. Her call was met with swift action. Despite their fear, the crew and colonists rallied to her side. It was a testament to human resilience and the unspoken bond that forms when faced with common adversity. Over the next several hours, Aurora and her impromptu crew managed to stabilize the Hanging Gardens. It was a feat of human ingenuity and determination, a dance of frantic keystrokes, manual overrides, and bypassed protocols. However, the real challenge was still ahead. The solar flare had knocked their trajectory off course, and the navigation systems were struggling to recalibrate for Proxima Centauri b. Time was slipping away, and with each passing moment, the dream of their new home grew fainter. "We can't give up," Aurora urged as despair began to take root among the crew. "Our ancestors crossed vast oceans and unknown lands with far less than what we have. We are their legacy. Perseverance is in our blood. We are not defined by the comfort of our journey, but by the challenges we overcome." Her words stirred a new fire within the hearts of the crew. Working tirelessly, they explored every possible solution, every theory and algorithm that could put them back on course. Against all odds, and through sheer force of will and relentless human ingenuity, the Hanging Gardens finally corrected its path towards Proxima Centauri b. It was a victory not just of technology, but of the human spirit, a spirit undaunted by the vast, cold unknown of space. As they continued their journey, each member of the fleet knew the road ahead would be fraught with more trials. But in that moment, there was a collective sense of accomplishment and hope. For Aurora and her crew had proven something vital. Even in the face of the impossible, humans are relentless. The Hanging Gardens sailed through the void, its systems now humming with restored purpose. Dr. Aurora Miles monitored the ship's progress with a watchful eye, aware that the threats lurking in space were manifold and unpredictable. Her role had evolved rapidly, from chief scientist to de facto leader of this segment of humanity's flotilla, navigating not only space, but the complexities of human emotion and resolve under pressure. Meanwhile, within the lower decks of the ship, a small group of engineers and scientists stumbled upon a mysterious anomaly in the energy readings. The readings hinted at an unseen force interacting with the ship's propulsion system, subtly but significantly. Curiosity piqued. Ilara assembled a specialized team to investigate, led by the astrophysicist Dr. Felix Wren. The investigation led them deep into the bowels of the ship, where the main propulsion systems intertwined with experimental technology. As they delved deeper, Felix noticed patterns that did not align with any known physical phenomena. "It's as if something is siphoning energy from us. An invisible leech in space," he reported, his voice tinged with both intrigue and concern. Ilara considered this new puzzle. The implications were profound. Any unauthorized drain on their energy reserves could jeopardize their mission. Worse still, if this was not a natural phenomenon, it suggested they were not alone in the void. The thought sent a shiver through her. Using the ship's advanced sensors, they traced the energy fluctuations to an external source, a faint but distinct trail leading to what appeared to be a cloaked object in space, riding the Hanging Garden's wake like an interstellar parasite. "We need to confront this entity, whatever it is," Ilara decided, her decision final. A small team, suited for spacewalks, ventured outside the ship, tethered by nothing but thin cables and a shared determination to protect their vessel. As they approached the location where the sensors detected the anomaly, the space around them began to shimmer like heat over pavement, revealing the outline of an alien craft. It was sleek and dark, designed to absorb rather than reflect light. Its presence was an affront, a silent threat. Communications specialist Zhao Lei attempted to establish contact. "Unknown vessel, this is the Hanging Gardens of the Aurora fleet. You are interfering with our mission. Identify yourself and state your purpose." She broadcasted in all known languages and formats, digital and analog, hoping one would elicit a response. The reply, when it came, was not in words but in a sudden surge of data that flooded the ship's communication systems. Screens flickered, data streams garbled, and then clarity. The alien craft transmitted its history in a barrage of images and sensations, a technique far beyond human technology. It revealed itself to be a scout from a civilization that collapsed under its own weight, its people gone, its purpose now a mere echo of exploration and surveillance, left to drift through the cosmos. Ilara and her team digested the revelation. The alien probe was not an enemy, but another victim of time and cosmic circumstance, compelled by its programming to gather data even from them. "Let's harness this," Ilara proposed. "We could use it to enhance our own understanding of space. Perhaps it even holds keys to technologies we've not yet imagined." The decision was made to integrate the alien technology with the ship's systems cautiously. Over the following weeks, as they decoded more data, as the Hanging Gardens harnessed the alien technology, the energy and propulsion systems underwent a transformation. The ship now glided through space with a grace that belied its colossal structure, the integration proving to be a groundbreaking success. However, the benefits of the alien tech extended beyond mere mechanical upgrades. It altered the fundamental understanding of physics among the ship's scientific community, prompting a renaissance of thought and innovation. With new vigor, Dr. Ilara Miles and her team focused on deciphering the more esoteric aspects of the alien legacy. Among the data was a series of complex algorithms that appeared to map out a method for bending spacetime, a theoretical blueprint for a warp drive. The implications were staggering. Mastering this could reduce their travel time exponentially, possibly reaching Proxima Centauri b within their own lifetimes. Felix Wren spearheaded the experimental attempts to recreate the alien's warp field. The initial tests were conducted on miniature models within the safety of the ship's quantum laboratory. Each test brought them closer to a functional prototype, but with each advance, the risks grew. The energy required to initiate a warp field was immense, and even a minor miscalculation could lead to catastrophic results. Despite the dangers, the spirit of the crew was buoyed by the progress. Their mission, once a desperate escape, was morphing into an odyssey of discovery. But as they edged closer to turning theory into reality, a series of unexplained malfunctions began to plague the ship. Systems that had been running smoothly started to show signs of stress, and critical failures in life support modules caused alarm throughout the vessel. Suspecting sabotage, security protocols were tightened. Surveillance was increased, and the crew was scrutinized, but the source of the disruptions remained elusive. That was until a routine data analysis revealed irregularities not in the ship's systems, but in the minds of the crew themselves. Dr. Aurora, piecing together the disparate events, hypothesized that the integration of alien technology might be having unforeseen effects on human neurology. Perhaps the alien data stream contained more than just technical blueprints. It could be altering them on a cognitive level. The crew needed to understand this alien influence, not just for their mission's sake, but for their very sanity. Aurora organized a cross-disciplinary team to explore the neurological impact of prolonged exposure to the alien data. The medical unit, under the guidance of neurologist Dr. Leon Webb, began extensive testing and found that the exposure was indeed reshaping neural pathways, enhancing cognitive functions but at the cost of increased synaptic stress. The challenge was now twofold: continue their work on the warp drive while ensuring the mental health and stability of the crew. Aurora advocated for a balanced approach, proposing shifts in exposure to the alien technology, coupled with enhanced medical monitoring and mandatory rest periods. As they implemented these measures, the crew's morale stabilized and the mysterious malfunctions ceased. Their work on the warp drive continued, now with a deeper understanding of the alien technology's dual-edged nature. The crew of the Hanging Gardens had become pioneers not only in space travel, but in the integration of alien and human capacities, navigating not just the Black Sea of space, but the inner workings of their minds. With renewed determination, they pushed forward, their ship a symphony of human and alien ingenuity, each step bringing them closer to not just their destination, but to understanding the potential of their own evolved capabilities. The Hanging Gardens, now almost symbiotic with the alien technology, approached the outer edges of the Proxima Centauri system. The star, a red dwarf, cast a dim, ruddy light over the ship, its glow a stark contrast to the bright, distant sun of Earth's memories. As they neared their destination, the crew's anticipation built into a palpable tension. The proximity to Proxima Centauri b meant that soon, they would be able to initiate the first real-world test of their nascent warp drive technology. Aurora Miles stood on the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the celestial bodies orbiting the red dwarf. The planet they were heading towards, a lush world of blues and greens according to their long-range scans, seemed so close yet remained elusive, hidden behind a veil of cosmic dust and electromagnetic anomalies that the star system was notorious for. The initial test of the warp drive was modest but successful. A small unmanned probe, equipped with the experimental drive, blinked out of normal space and reappeared a few thousand kilometers ahead as planned. The crew erupted in celebration, their cheers echoing through the corridors. But the true test was yet to come, using the drive to navigate the final leg of their voyage to the planet itself. However, the challenges of the Proxima Centauri system were not just spatial, but political. The Aurora fleet, though united in mission, was comprised of people from all corners of the former Earth, each with their own beliefs, aspirations, and fears about the new world. As the Hanging Gardens prepared for its historic leap, a faction within the crew, led by the charismatic engineer Marco Venn, began to voice opposition. Marco and his followers were concerned about the ethical implications of using such profound alien technology without fully understanding its influence on them. They argued that rushing to implement the warp drive could have irreversible effects on their humanity, or even lead to catastrophic failure, stranding them, or worse, in unknown space. Aurora, empathetic to their concerns but resolute in her commitment to their mission, called a ship-wide assembly. She presented the risks and rewards of using the warp drive and emphasized the extensive testing and safeguards they had put in place. Transparency was her policy, and she allowed open debate and discussion, hoping to unify the crew under a banner of mutual understanding and trust. The assembly was tense, with passionate speeches from both sides. In the end, a majority agreed with Aurora, swayed by the potential to reach their new home swiftly and the reassurances of safety measures. However, a significant minority remained opposed, and a compromise was reached. The warp drive would be used, but with additional oversight, and more data would be collected to monitor its effects continuously. With the decision made, preparations for the warp jump to Proxima Centauri b began in earnest. The engineers and scientists worked around the clock, checking and rechecking every system linked to the drive. Neurologists continued to monitor the crew's health, taking special interest in those who had been exposed to the alien data streams the longest. Finally, the moment arrived. Aurora, surrounded by her team on the command deck, initiated the warp sequence. The ship vibrated with energy as the drive spun up, the fabric of space-time warping around them. There was a moment of perfect stillness, like the deep breath before a plunge, and then reality bent. The Hanging Gardens reappeared in orbit around Proxima Centauri b. The journey that should have taken years completed in an instant. The planet below them was more beautiful than any simulation could have predicted, a world ripe with possibilities. The successful jump was a monumental achievement, but it was also just the beginning. As they prepared to send down the first landing parties, as the Hanging Gardens settled into orbit around Proxima Centauri b, the excitement of the crew was tempered by the daunting reality of their task. The planet below was a tapestry of vibrant ecosystems and unpredictable weather patterns, a frontier teeming with unknowns. Dr. Aurora Miles organized the first landing parties with a mix of scientists, engineers, and security personnel, each team tasked with different objectives: to analyze the atmosphere, survey the land for potential settlements, and assess the flora and fauna for both threats and resources. The initial landings were cautious but uneventful, revealing a planet that was both welcoming and alien. The air was breathable, a fortunate rarity, and the gravity slightly lower than Earth's, making every movement feel lighter. The first images sent back to the ship, vast forests of bioluminescent plants and sprawling oceans, were met with awe. However, the alien technology that had so dramatically enhanced the Hanging Gardens continued to resonate deeply within the crew. Dr. Felix Wren, now leading the research on integrating this technology with human science, discovered anomalies in the magnetic fields of Proxima Centauri b that interacted strangely with their equipment. Some devices would inexplicably cease to function, while others became significantly more efficient. This phenomenon prompted a new line of inquiry. Were these fields natural, or had another spacefaring civilization influenced them? The implications were profound, hinting at either a geological marvel or an astronomical coincidence. Felix and his team set up a series of field labs to study these effects in real time, hoping to harness these anomalies for the benefit of the colony. Meanwhile, Marco Venn and his group, initially resistant to the use of the warp drive, found themselves in a unique position. Their skepticism had evolved into a pragmatic caution that made them invaluable as a counterbalance to the enthusiasm of the majority. They established protocols for interaction with the planet, ensuring that the integration into this new world was respectful of its ecosystems, aiming to avoid the mistakes of Earth's past. The diversity of life on Proxima Centauri b was staggering. Biochemist Dr. Leon Webb, who had been monitoring the neurological effects of the alien data on the crew, found herself equally intrigued by the planet's indigenous life. Many plants and animals contained compounds that had significant medicinal properties, some even displaying properties that could enhance neural activity and repair. The discovery opened up a wealth of opportunities for pharmaceutical advancements, but also ethical dilemmas about the exploitation of alien ecosystems. As the colony's footprint began to expand, Aurora made sure that the development was sustainable. The technology they brought from Earth, combined with what they learned from the alien probe, allowed them to build with minimal environmental impact. Structures were designed to blend into the landscape, using materials that were either biodegradable or entirely recyclable. The first major challenge came when a violent storm, unlike any terrestrial weather pattern, struck one of the coastal settlements. The colony's early warning systems, adapted from the ship's sensors, gave them enough time to evacuate, but the settlement sustained severe damage. This event was a stark reminder of the planet's untamed nature and pushed the engineers to develop more robust, weather-resistant architecture. The response to the storm also highlighted the strength of the community that had formed on Proxima Centauri b. Despite their differences and the tensions of their shared past, when faced with adversity. As the Proxima Centauri B colony grew, so did its complexity. Dr. Aurora Miles watched from her command post aboard the Hanging Gardens, her role evolving from scientific leader to the governor of a burgeoning new world. The settlement, aptly named New Dawn, was now a vibrant community, its infrastructure sprawling across lush green valleys and along the coastlines of azure seas. The alien technology, once a source of fear and controversy, had become an integral part of New Dawn's development. Felix Wren's continued study revealed ways to not only harness the planet's unique magnetic fields for energy, but also to stabilize them, making the technology safer and more predictable. This breakthrough allowed for an expansion of the colony's power grid, facilitating growth and ensuring a stable supply of energy to every home and facility. However, the integration of alien knowledge was not without its challenges. The neurological enhancements observed in the crew, initially seen as beneficial, began to show long-term effects. Some settlers reported enhanced sensory perceptions. Others experienced vivid dreams that mirrored distant memories or alien landscapes, perhaps echoes of the extinct civilization that had created the technology they now relied on. Concerned, Dr. Leon Webb intensified her research, setting up a neurological institute to study these phenomena. Her work became crucial in helping the settlers understand and cope with these changes, ensuring that their mental health did not suffer as they adapted to their new capabilities. Meanwhile, Marco Ven's cautious approach to ecological integration had paid dividends. The agriculture systems developed under his oversight used hybrid Earth-alien techniques that were incredibly efficient and environmentally friendly. These systems provided food security for the colony and also allowed them to start repairing the environmental damage that had been unintentionally inflicted during the early days of settlement. The society that emerged on Proxima Centauri B was a blend of Earth's cultures and the remnants of the alien civilization whose technology they had adopted. Schools taught both human history and xenoarchaeology, the study of alien artifacts and sites, encouraging a new generation to look at the stars not just as a destination, but as a connection to other possible worlds and lost civilizations. As the first anniversary of their arrival approached, Aurora planned a commemoration. It was not just to celebrate their survival, but to honor their progress in becoming a part of something larger. The event was broadcast throughout New Dawn and back to Earth, where billions watched, their spirits lifted by the success of their distant kin. During the ceremony, Aurora spoke, her voice echoing across the planet and through the vast emptiness of space to reach the still hopeful ears on Earth. Today, we stand not just as survivors, but as pioneers of a new existence. We have learned that our legacy is not defined by the boundaries of our world, but by the bridges we build between the stars. In the years that followed, New Dawn became a beacon of interstellar colonization. Other missions were launched, inspired by the successes and lessons of the Hanging Gardens. Each new colony added strands to a growing network of human presence across the stars.